get this. You've been digging into this whole world of how software can like unlock hidden potential in hardware, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's an article from Tom's Hardware, February 3rd, 2025. It caught my eye because it made a pretty bold claim.
Oh, yeah?
It says that there's a team in China that's developed an algorithm that can boost Nvidia GPU performance by up to like 800 times.
Wow.
800 times. Like, that's not just an upgrade.
No.
That's practically magic.
Yeah.
So the question is, could this be a game changer, not just for like gamers, but for entire industries? Let's find out.
So what's really interesting about this is that it's not just like a general speed boost for any kind of task.
Right.
This algorithm is specifically designed for a type of simulation called peridynamics, or PD for short.
Peridynamics.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically what it does is it models how materials break down and fracture under stress.
Okay.
Which is super important in fields like, aerospace engineering, even military applications.
So crucial stuff then.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like imagine designing a safer airplane or a more durable bridge.
Right.
Like that's where peridynamics comes in.
Peridynamics.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of like Star Trek-y.
It does a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. But if I'm understanding this right, it's basically like a virtual crash test for materials.
Exactly.
So you're running simulations to see how things break apart without actually having to, blow stuff up in real life.
Yeah, you don't have to build a physical prototype.
Right.
You can do it all on the computer.
But you need a pretty powerful computer for that, right?
Yeah, well, that's the problem. These PD simulations, they're computationally expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like traditionally, they've required massive supercomputers to run.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Imagine like needing a whole power plant just to run a simulation on your computer. Like that's the kind of scale we're talking about.
So this is like trying to run Cyberpunk 2077 on a 10-year-old computer.
Pretty much, yeah. It's not going to happen.
So how did this Chinese team figure out how to fit a jet engine onto a bicycle? How did they run these simulations on a regular Nvidia GPU?
So they focused on optimizing the algorithm for Nvidia's parallel processing architecture. You see, traditional PD algorithms are kind of clunky when it comes to memory management. This new algorithm, it streamlines the data flow, making it super efficient for the way that Nvidia GPUs work.
Specifically
with their CUDA technology.
CUDA.
Yeah.
So it's not just about raw power, then it's about making the software work smarter.
Exactly. It's like finding a hidden turbocharger for your graphics card.
And they got an 800x speed increase on an RTX 4070.
Up to 800 times, yeah, depending on the specific simulation.
That's mind-blowing.
It is.
What does this kind of speed boost actually mean for researchers who are working with these simulations?
Well, I mean, it's a potential game changer, right?
Yeah.
Researchers who previously needed access to these expensive supercomputing clusters, they could now run complex PD models on readily available consumer-grade GPUs.
So
think about the possibilities.
Yeah.
Smaller labs, universities, even individual researchers could now have access to the kind of computing power that was once limited to a select few.
it's like suddenly everyone has a scientific superpower at their fingertips.
Yep.
No more waiting in line for time on a giant supercomputer. You can do cutting-edge research right from your lab.
Exactly.
Maybe even your home office?
Potentially, yeah.
This has to have huge implications for all kinds of fields, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the potential for breakthroughs in aerospace, civil engineering, even medicine.
Wow.
With this kind of processing power readily available, we could see advancements happening at a pace we never thought possible.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Faster drug discovery?
Potentially.
Safer bridges? Maybe even designing spaceships that can withstand interstellar travel?
Well, maybe not that far, but
Yeah,
the possibilities are pretty exciting.
This is getting me really excited.
Yeah.
But let's get specific. What are some real-world examples of how this could be applied? For instance, what could this mean for the aerospace industry?
Okay, so let's say you're designing a new aircraft.
Okay.
With this technology, you could simulate every single stress point, every potential failure point in a fraction of the time it used to take.
Yeah.
This means safer planes, potentially lighter and more fuel-efficient designs.
Right.
All thanks to the ability to run those complex simulations much faster.
So we're talking about potentially saving lives.
Yeah.
Making air travel more efficient.
Absolutely.
All because someone figured out how to make software work smarter with existing hardware.
It's a pretty amazing development.
This almost feels like a turning point in how we approach technological advancement.
It really highlights how much potential is still hidden within the hardware we already have. We might be entering an era where software optimization becomes the key to unlocking incredible new capabilities,
Right.
even without needing to constantly build bigger and more powerful machines.
That's a fascinating thought. It's almost like we found a secret passageway to a whole new level of computing power.
I like that analogy.
And this is just one team working on one specific type of simulation.
Right.
Imagine the possibilities if this kind of approach was applied to other fields.
It's definitely a sign of things to come.
Yeah.
We could see similar leaps in areas like artificial intelligence, climate modeling,
Right.
maybe even things we haven't even thought of yet.
Right,
This
yeah.
could truly be a revolution in how we use technology to solve some of the world's most challenging problems.
It's exciting, but also a bit daunting, you know? This one discovery has opened up a whole Pandora's box of possibilities, and it makes you wonder what other secrets are waiting to be unlocked.
Yeah, it really does.
What do you think, listener? Are you as excited as I am about the potential of this technology?
I'm certainly intrigued.
So we were talking about how this algorithm could like revolutionize industries, right?
Yeah.
But it's not just about faster simulations, is it? This breakthrough also has some pretty big geopolitical implications.
Oh, it definitely does.
Yeah.
We can't ignore, like, the current global landscape,
Right.
all the trade tensions and restrictions between certain countries.
Right.
Well, this breakthrough potentially allows certain nations like China and Russia
Uh-huh.
to advance their research without relying on high-end hardware from other parts of the world.
So it's like they found a workaround,
Kind of, yeah.
a way to level the playing field in terms of technological advancement.
Exactly.
This could have like a ripple effect on the balance of power when it comes to like scientific research and development.
Oh, absolutely. It highlights the importance of strategic independence
Yeah.
in technology.
Right.
Nations that can develop their own tools and solutions, even in the face of, restrictions.
Huh.
They're going to have a significant advantage in the future.
That's a really interesting point. It's almost like a technological arms race where the ability to innovate becomes a key factor in global influence.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
But shifting gears a bit, this idea of software optimization, like squeezing more performance out of existing hardware, it seems like a trend we're seeing across the tech world.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
We're starting to realize that we don't always need to build bigger, faster, more expensive hardware to achieve significant advancements.
Right.
Sometimes the key lies in writing smarter, more efficient software
Uh-huh.
that can unlock the hidden potential of the hardware we already have.
It's like we've been driving around in a high-performance sports car, but only using like a fraction of its horsepower.
Yeah.
Now someone's figured out how to access the turbo boost.
Uh-huh. I like that.
And we're suddenly realizing how much more we're capable of.
That's a great analogy. And think about the implications beyond just PD simulations.
Yeah.
We could see this trend play out in fields like artificial intelligence,
Uh-huh.
where algorithms are already becoming incredibly complex and demanding.
Right.
What if we could find ways to make those algorithms run more efficiently on existing hardware?
So we're talking about accelerating the development of like self-driving cars,
Potentially, yeah.
personalized medicine, maybe even creating AI systems that can help us solve some of the world's biggest challenges.
Like climate change or poverty.
Exactly.
It's definitely possible.
This breakthrough with peridynamics, it's just the tip of the iceberg.
I think so.
It's a glimpse into a future where software optimization becomes a primary driver of technological progress,
Yeah,
allowing us to achieve things we once thought were impossible.
I agree.
It's incredibly exciting, but it also makes you wonder,
What's that?
what other breakthroughs are just around the corner waiting for someone to unlock them?
That's the big question, isn't it? There's so much potential still out there.
Oh, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
Yeah, we have.
We've seen how this algorithm could like revolutionize entire industries, right?
Uh-huh.
Shift global power dynamics, and maybe even change the way we think about technological progress.
It's a lot to take in.
But it's clear this isn't just a feel-good story about scientific advancement.
Right.
It raises some pretty serious questions too, doesn't it?
It definitely does. Like we've talked about the potential for countries to use this technology to gain a strategic advantage.
Right.
But what about the potential for misuse on a smaller scale?
What if this algorithm falls into the wrong hands?
That's a scary thought.
We're talking about the ability to simulate things like structural failures in buildings or bridges,
Yeah.
potentially even weapons systems.
That's a lot of power to put out there in the world.
Is there any way to control something like this once it's out there?
It's a tough challenge. One approach is to focus on transparency and collaboration within the scientific community
Okay.
by encouraging open dialogue and sharing knowledge responsibly, we can at least try to keep this kind of technology from being used for harmful purposes.
So instead of trying to lock it away in a vault,
Right.
the idea is to make sure it's used for good by keeping the conversation open
Exactly.
and making sure everyone's aware of the potential risks. It's like a global safety net for powerful technology.
I like that analogy.
But we also need to think about the broader social and economic impacts, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, for example, what happens to the people whose jobs might be replaced by this technology?
That's a really important point. If simulations become much faster and easier to run,
Yeah.
what happens to the experts who used to spend months or even years working on them?
It's a valid concern. It seems like this could lead to job displacement in some areas.
So it's not just about technological progress.
No.
It's about making sure that progress benefits everyone.
Right. We need to think about retraining programs, education initiatives, ways to help people adapt to the changing job market.
It's like we're standing on the edge of a new frontier.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure we bring everyone along for the ride. We've got this incredibly powerful tool at our disposal.
We do.
But with that power comes a responsibility to use it wisely and ethically.
I couldn't agree more. This isn't just about science. It's about society. It's about making choices that benefit humanity as a whole.
This algorithm is a reminder that technological advancements don't exist in a vacuum.
No, they don't.
They have real-world consequences.
For sure.
And it's up to us to shape those consequences in a positive way. So, listener, what are your thoughts? This one research paper has sparked a conversation about faster simulations, global power shifts the future of work, and even the ethical responsibility that comes with scientific advancement.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is. It's a lot to unpack, but these are the kinds of conversations we need to be having as we move into this new era of technological possibility.
It's not about having all the answers.
Right.
It's about asking the right questions.
And it's about remembering that the future isn't something that just happens to us.
Right.
It's something we create together through the choices we make today. And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful, thought-provoking, maybe even a little bit unsettling. But most importantly, we hope it sparked your curiosity. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Until next time.